Thank you.
What do you make of this very stern warning given by the president and the whip that he's already cracked on persons who fail to declare their assets?
I think it's a very important decision that the president has taken, because this law has been in existence since 1998. The Asset Declaration Act has been in existence since 1998, and we don't seem to be doing anything about it. Even the Auditor General doesn't publish names of people that have either declared or not declared. And for those who have not declared, no action has been taken against them. So if today the president is saying this is a good initiative, but we're still yet to see the actual action taken against those that have defaulted. The names of the people must be published. The sanctions imposed on them must be published, so that we know that he's actually determined to ensure that people abide by the laws of the country.
I'll ask you the question as a minister. So it is an illegality or is a wrongful thing if you do not declare during the stipulated period. I think he believes, he's not sure, but he says it may be 6 months. That's the window that is given to appointee. I don't know if you know more about what the law states and what the consequence is. He says you may be barred from...
It's an illegality. It is an illegality.
If and what's the period? What's the duration?
The Constitution says upon assumption of office.
Yeah, but does it give a grace period, a duration by which you should
no,
do the declaration?
It doesn't give a grace period. It says upon assumption of office. It's just that Parliament decided to water down that constitutional provision by saying that within 6 months. That's not what the Constitution says. And any law that contradicts the Constitution has no value, does not have any effect.
Wait, so does it mean there's an act now that says within 6 months?
There's an act now that says within 6 months.
So the act has come to essentially, enforce what the Constitution. If the provision in the Constitution says upon assumption of office, that's very vague. So perhaps what the Parliament has done is to give it some more clarity, don't you think? And 6 months, perhaps, in the thinking of Parliament, is appropriate, because upon assumption of office is very vague, isn't it?
You and I know when you are sworn in as a Minister of State, your appointment letter has an effective date. There's no doubt about upon assumption of office. Parliament decided to water it down for their own purposes. And as I said, it's null and void for a Parliament has no right to enact a law that does not comply with what the Constitution says. And we have called, over the years, we have called on constitutional lawyers to go to court, the Supreme Court, and get that act declared null and void. But unfortunately, no lawyer has been bold enough to do that.
But you could go to the court asking for the Supreme Court to do that. You are free to do that as an individual, private person.
Yes, but I don't have the capacity, resource-wise, knowledge-wise, and all that. I don't have the capacity to go to court every day, and you know how the court proceedings go. Even filing the thing is not an easy thing for an ordinary citizen. But why should parliamentarians, who are most of whom are lawyers, wait for that to happen? Do they need to be told? I raised this with some parliamentarians, and I said, they need 6 months to prepare. Do you need 6 months to prepare? And what the president has done has shown that they don't actually need 6 months to prepare the asset declaration. The president has given about 3 months or even less. So he has proved that you don't need 3 months or 6 months to declare your assets. And I've said that 6 months is a long time for people to acquire assets and attribute it to assets they own before coming into public office. So that is already a weakness in the law itself that has been passed by Parliament.
So how immediately do you consider upon assumption of office to be? Should it be the first day of assumption, second day, or the same day?
I think that if you have gone through Parliament as a minister and Parliament has approved you and you are being sworn in by the president, that is the day that you should present your asset declaration. If you are any other public officer, you have an appointment letter that has an effective date that you report in your office for work. That is the day that you submit your report, your asset declaration. I was an assemblyman, as far back as 1989. We declared our assets as an assemblyman under the PNDC. So there's no doubt, there's no issue about how, upon assumption of office, there's no doubt about it. Just that Parliament, because they were affected, decided to water down the law. And I think that's wrong. And I think the President's action, even though it's a half measure, because he should have said that bring your assets in before I swear you in.
Okay.
But he gave them some time, which is still, let's say that's even acceptable. But even that some ministers have still failed to comply.
So he says he's sacking those who don't do it by the stipulated time from his government. You believe that's punitive enough?
It is punitive enough, but whether it will work, I think that maybe the best approach would have been for him to refer it to the Commission on Human Rights and Justice that the Constitution provides in Article 287 for any punitive action that should be taken against people who have failed to declare their assets. That's a state mandatory institution that has been given the constitutional responsibility to take action on people who have failed to comply with the assets creation regime.
Let's look at this directive with a human face now. You hire someone to work for 4 months, you decide to take his salary because of an action he may have been involved in. You're starving him of his salary for 4 months. Are you not giving him the incentive or the ideas to explore other avenues of making money outside his salary? Could this not, bring about more corruption, which we were trying to fight?
Well, it may bring about more corruption, but you were warned, you were told that do this to avoid this. And you see, again, that was not what he told them at the time he was asking them to declare their assets. He didn't talk of forfeiting their salaries. So why this thing? That is, from your point of view, look at it from the human face. He didn't say that they will be made to forfeit their salary. So why is he saying that they should forfeit their salary? That's why I said the best is to refer the matter to the Commission on Human Rights, take action against those who have failed to declare their assets, rather than come out with this other thing that is not part of, that is not in the law. It wasn't what he told them at the beginning.
But he's their boss. He can choose to fire them for any stated ground. Even he doesn't even need to have a ground.
Yes, that is true. But he's also using the law. Article 286 and 87 of the Constitution. So why don't you allow the law to take its course?
Should he refer such persons to the, aside the Shraj, could there be a criminal investigation into this, you think, or this would go rather more on the administrative side of things?
I say it is the Commission on Human Rights that
should deal with
power,
it.
has been gathered, to deal with it.
Very well.
And it includes even banning them from holding any public office in the future.
Yeah, I said so for 10 years. Very well. Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us, sir.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
You too. That's Vitus Azim. He's anti-corruption crusader. Professor Bafwa Jimandua is a governance analyst. Prof, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.